Hello everyone, I'm George Krawczak and I'm the host of the Crawcast. This is my grade for the Detroit Lions 2016 NFL Draft. First, I need to set some parameters. This grade is for how well the player played for the team that drafted them. If they did great after they left the team that drafted them, it does not count as part of their grade. And if they did terrible after leaving the team that drafted them, it also does not count as part of their grade. For example, Steve Young, he was drafted by the Buccaneers. He would get probably about an F for the Buccaneers because he was not very good for them, even though he ended up being a Hall of Famer for the 49ers. Also, draft positional value matters. For example, a first-round pick being an average starter will get the player probably around a C, but a seventh-round pick being an average four-year starter will get them an A because the expectations for the player are different. Also, if you like this kind of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. Given that, let's get started. With the 16th overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Taylor Decker. I gave this pick a B. He started 112 games and made the All-Rookie team in 2016. He has been a consistent starter since coming into the NFL. Although he hasn't been one of the top tackles, he's played pretty decent. He has definitely been worth the pick for the Lions, and he was eligible. With the 46th overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected A'Shawn Robinson. I gave this pick a C-. A'Shawn Robinson has had 172 tackles, 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown. He really didn't amount to much in the NFL. He had some decent moments, but overall lacked a defining trait to his game. You definitely want more out of your second-round pick than this. With the 95th overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Graham Glasgow. I gave this pick a B-. He started 58 games for the Detroit Lions. He was an average to below average starter during his time, and that's kind of what you expect out of a third round, just an average to below average starter. With the 111th overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Miles Killebrew. I gave this pick a C. He had 105 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 1 touchdown. Overall, he was just a backup for most of his time in Detroit. He had a few decent plays, but being an average backup is pretty decent for a fourth rounder. With the 151st overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Joe Dahl. I gave this pick a C-. He was a backup for almost his whole career except for one season where he was an average starter. He only started in 21 games over his 5 seasons with Detroit. That's not very good, but considering he was a 5th round pick, that's not the worst career in the world. With the 169th overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Antoine Williams. I gave this pick a D. He played 1 season for Detroit and recorded 27 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Although he was a 5th round pick, you certainly want more than just 1 season out of him. With the 191st overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Jake Rudock. I gave this pick a D-. He had a 60% completion percentage with 24 yards and 1 interception. He basically didn't play, but when he did play, he was nothing special. With the 202nd overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Anthony Zettel. I gave this pick a C+. He had 56 tackles, 7.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Overall, he had 1 good season with the Lions. Given that he was a 6th round pick, that's pretty good value for a pick considering that the last 6th round picks don't even make the team. With the 210th overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Jimmy Landis. I gave this pick an F. He was drafted to be their long snapper of the future, but he got injured and never played it down with the Detroit Lions. With the 236th overall pick, the Detroit Lions selected Dwayne Washington. I gave this pick a B. He had 309 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 12 receptions, and 76 receiving yards. Given that most 7th round picks don't even make the team, Dwayne Washington was pretty successful with the Lions. I understand that these are not eye-popping numbers, but these numbers are great for a 7th round pick. He was at least able to contribute a decent amount during his time with Detroit. Overall, I gave this draft a C+. They had 2 consistent starters in Taylor Decker and Graham Glasgow, and everyone else was either a backup or did not contribute at all. Most of your draft picks won't be great, but out of this draft, I think only Taylor Decker is the one pick you definitely make again. Let me know your thoughts about this draft in the comments below, and if you like this type of content, make sure you hit that subscribe button like it owes you money. I'll see you next time.